Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6 sense for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the chain. Can't control me. I got the power.
This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is the Indie Kid coming at you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button and make sure you hit subscribe. Coming at you with some basketball video, or a basketball video today. Before you get into that, again, press like, hit subscribe on that. Excuse me. Make sure you check out Boogie Bentley's been hot after it today. Transfer portal has been hot for Tennessee. Nobody is covering this portal better than Boogie Bentley. Nobody out there. From the videos previewing potential targets, who's leaving, who's going, best in the business at it right now, and it's not even close. So make sure you check that out, and I'm sure there's going to be more coming on that. He's got it covered. He's on it. Let's get to basketball, though. Tennessee last night wins in overtime 66-60. The question is, where's the offense? Defense, not an issue. Number 2 in defensive efficiency in the entire nation. This team ranks in the 50s in offensive efficiency, and the talent is there. So what's the problem? Looking around at a few different things last night. Just wanted to look at the stats for the year and where we're going, and looking at who's scoring, who's not, excuse me, what they're doing. So Vescovy leads this team with 13.5 points per game. Kennedy Chandler, 13.3. Olivier Kamwa, John Fulkerson tied for third with 9.5 points per game. And then you can see a little bit of a drop-off. You've got Zakai Ziegler, 6.9. Justin Powell, 6.8. Josiah Jordan James, 6.6. And then everybody else is under 5. This team's averaging 76.6 points per game. Their opponents are averaging 60.4 points per game. Can Tennessee win any game on any night with defense? You betcha. Absolutely. Ugly game last night. Ole Miss was shorthanded. They coached a good game. Ole Miss did. They had a good game plan. It just seemed like they were in the right spots at the right times. But somehow Tennessee won that game. I still don't really know how they won that game because they never led until overtime. And but hats off to them. Credit to them that they didn't fold, that they did make the plays. There was a debate last night about defense. Yes, Tennessee's defense won that game last night, and hats off to them for that. If they're going to make any kind of run in the NCAA tournament, though, defense is not going to be the issue. Defense can win them games, but if they go on those almost 10-minute spurts of not being able to score points, and we've seen this in numerous games now, they're gone. Depends on the draw you get the first weekend, but if you're in that 4 or 5 seed range, that's a hot range for an upset. And that's probably, depending on where Tennessee finishes, and there's a long way to go, but that's a prime range for an upset. We saw it last year. They got blown out of the building by Oregon State. So, again, they're going to come in and they're going to play offense. They're going to play defense. Not a question. Where is the offense, though? Last night, Vescovy, he really he can aggravate you with some of sometimes he gets a little out of control, but if there's any guy on this team that wants to be the guy. It's him. And I was picking through some of Rick Barnes's quotes. 24/7 Sports, they had Go VAWLS 24/7. They had the post-game quotes from Barnes. And one of the questions on it was about avoiding large stretches of the game with no offense. His quote was, you can't have guys on offense that are going to back down when they don't make shots. You have to take your shots. We have to. I told our guys before the game that I do think we're a physically tough team. We've got to get tougher mentally, and mental toughness is when things aren't going your way. You still believe in your training. You believe in what you do. And when you're open, you have to take shots. And, kind of skimming through a little bit more, he said those guys should have all the room in the world because they're not going to leave Santee. Whether you look their number or they don't look very good, but people have seen enough that they know that these guys will shoot it, and we have to shoot it. That's one of the things he talked about is basically who wants it here. He talked about Kennedy Chandler on him not scoring until late in the game and only taking 3 shots. First, he gave Ole Miss credit for that. But he said later on, he said, Zakai Ziegler gets it where he wants it. Kennedy Chandler has to do the same thing. It's in his game. He's basically saying Ziegler is not afraid to get to the rim and be aggressive. Chandler has it in his game to do the same. He did it in overtime. He had a couple of nice drives and layups there. Now, Barnes said Chandler's probably learned this game's harder than he thought it was going to be. He kind of downplayed the COVID issues with Fulkerson and him. But, that was kind of what stood out to me. So I wonder with this, is Tennessee's problem on offense a confidence issue? I think we saw it last year. Guys didn't want it. We're seeing it this year. Guys don't want it on offense. Vescovy, he wants it. Sometimes he shoots a little too much, but, that's one thing I say is apparently Barnes is encouraging these guys to shoot. We can't blame it on him not playing Justin Powell last night. He played 22 minutes. He took 4 shots. He passed up numerous shots last night. Can't blame it on that. And we were critical of Barnes last night on the show. Something's not working there, but from researching it, Barnes runs a motion offense. And I don't know. One thing I'm not sure, I thought the players, when I looked at this roster coming in, they fit. Now you're kind of watching a little bit. It doesn't seem they mesh well, but post-game, he praised Euros. He praised Kamwa for their improvement this year. And those guys are improved. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Right now, if I'm putting the ball in anybody's hand when we need it, it's Santee Vescovy. I don't even think twice about it right now. Yes, sometimes you're like, man, quit shooting, but he wants it. He doesn't get phased. He has the confidence. And Barnes talked about his conditioning. He said him and Ziegler are what you see on the court is what you see in practice. Those guys are super conditioned. They can go all night long, basically, is what he says. So where does Tennessee need to get better on offense going forward? It starts with one guy, Kennedy Chandler. That guy gets his confidence. He makes things happen. He gets to the hole and causes defenses to adjust. This offense will take off. I think you got some guys on the outside who can hit. Ziegler's not afraid to get in there either, and he can make some things happen. But Kennedy Chandler was the stud that was brought in to be the quarterback of this team. He gets it going, that's going to be big. I think you can live serviceably with Olivier Kamwa down low. Josiah Jordan-James, I think you can live with what he brings. A little inconsistent at times, but still we can live with what he brings. Fulkerson, big game one night, non-existent for the most part next night. We said it before. Huntley Hatfield, I would like to see that improvement for him. I don't think we're going to expect a big improvement from him just based on what we've seen. We can expect it from Kennedy Chandler, and I feel it's going to happen. It's just a matter of not if, but when. This team does have potential down the stretch. Again, they can be a one and done. They can be out the first weekend. Maybe they can get to at least a second weekend. We'll see. But confidence and your 5-star point guard you come in, who I think is suffering from confidence as well. These guys need one game where the shots are falling, one game where the rotations are working, and hopefully they can bounce out of it. That's going to wrap up what I'm bringing to you. Again, transfer portal news, hot and heavy. Boogie Bentley, best in the business on transfer portal in Tennessee. Check it out. Baseball, 43 days. As soon as I finish this, I'm recording a baseball video that's going to come later on today. Excited about baseball to get going. But my name is Andy Kidd. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. In the words of Double B Boogie Bentley, go big orange.